Sometimes life doesn't unravel slowly, it collapses all at once. What looks from the outside like a bold, spontaneous decision is often the result of something much deeper breaking underneath. That was the case here. A stable life, carefully built over years, came undone in a matter of months. A relationship ended painfully, trust was shattered, and the emotional ground beneath everything gave way. Alongside that loss came practical consequences. The house tied to that life had to be let go. Routines disappeared, and the sense of direction that once felt solid turned uncertain. When multiple pillars fall at the same time, people don't always make decisions that seem logical to others. They make decisions that help them breathe again. Walking away from a job and booking a one-way ticket wasn't about recklessness. It was about creating distance from a space filled with reminders. It was about survival in a quieter, less visible sense. From the outside, it might look like abandoning everything. From the inside, it can feel like the only way forward, finding motion in a foreign place. Arriving in a new country can be overwhelming in the best of circumstances. Doing so while carrying emotional weight adds another layer entirely. The unfamiliar surroundings, the noise, the pace, the unpredictability, it all creates a kind of immersion that leaves little room for overthinking. In that environment, the focus shifts naturally to the present moment. Renting a motorcycle wasn't part of a grand plan. It was a simple decision that opened up a new way of experiencing the world. Riding offered something unique, a sense of control combined with constant movement. You're not just observing, you're participating. Every turn, every stop, every decision requires attention. That kind of engagement can be grounding when everything else feels uncertain. What started as a temporary distraction slowly became something more meaningful. It wasn't about becoming an expert rider overnight. It was about discovering that forward motion, even imperfect and unsteady, could help rebuild a sense of direction that had been lost. Learning through uncertainty. Starting something new without experience can feel intimidating, especially in unfamiliar conditions. There's no safety net, no guarantee of success, and no clear endpoint. But there's also something powerful about being a beginner again. It forces humility, patience, and focus. Early rides were not smooth or effortless. They involved mistakes, hesitation, and moments of doubt. But each challenge became part of the learning process. When you don't have the luxury of overplanning, you adapt quickly. You learn by doing, by observing, and by asking for help when needed. That process builds confidence in a different way than structured learning ever could. It's not about mastering everything at once. It's about proving to yourself that you can handle the unknown. Over time, the uncertainty becomes less intimidating. It doesn't disappear, but it becomes manageable. And in that space, something shifts internally. What once felt like chaos starts to feel like possibility. The reality behind the journey. From the outside, travel often looks effortless. Photos and videos capture the highlights, the scenic routes, the sense of freedom, the quiet moments of reflection. What they don't always show is the effort behind it. Long days, physical fatigue, and constant decision-making are part of the experience. Riding for hours requires focus and endurance. Weather conditions change, roads vary, and unexpected situations arise. It's not just about enjoying the view, it's about navigating each moment safely and thoughtfully. There's also the practical side, finding places to rest, managing resources, and staying connected when possible. These realities don't take away from the experience, but they add depth to it. They remind us that growth often comes with discomfort. What appears simple on the surface is often layered with effort and persistence, and that's part of what makes the journey meaningful. It's not just where you go, but what it takes to get there, strength in solitude. Spending extended time alone can be both challenging and transformative. Without constant interaction, you're left with your own thoughts, your own reflections, and your own pace. At first, that silence can feel heavy, but over time, it can become a space for clarity. Solitude allows for a different kind of awareness, of surroundings, of emotions, and of personal limits. It also encourages independence. Decisions are yours alone, and so are the outcomes. That responsibility can feel daunting, but it also builds resilience. You learn to trust your judgment, to adapt when things don't go as planned, and to find comfort in your own company. At the same time, Solitude doesn't mean isolation from others entirely. Encounters with people along the way, brief conversations, shared moments, often become more meaningful. They stand out because they're not constant. In that balance between being alone and connecting with others, a deeper understanding of self begins to take shape. Facing unexpected challenges? No journey unfolds exactly as planned. Unexpected challenges are part of the experience, and how they're handled often defines the outcome. There are moments when progress slows down, when conditions become difficult, or when plans need to change entirely. These situations test patience and adaptability. They also reveal inner strength that might not have been obvious before. Handling challenges isn't about avoiding difficulty, it's about responding to it with clarity and calm. Sometimes that means taking a step back, reassessing, and choosing a different path. Other times, it means pushing through with careful determination. What matters is the ability to stay present and make decisions that prioritize well-being. Over time, these experiences build confidence. They show that even when things don't go as expected, it's possible to navigate through them. That understanding becomes a foundation for future challenges both on the road and beyond it. Growth beyond the surface. What begins as a physical journey often becomes something more internal. The miles traveled are only one part of the story. The real transformation happens in how those experiences shape perspective. Facing uncertainty, adapting to new environments, and reflecting on past experiences all contribute to personal growth. It's not always immediate or obvious. Sometimes it shows up in small ways: a calmer response to stress, a greater sense of patience, or a clearer understanding of what truly matters. Over time, these changes accumulate. They influence decisions, relationships, and the way challenges are approached. Growth doesn't mean leaving the past behind entirely. It means learning from it and carrying those lessons forward. The journey becomes less about escaping what was, and more about building something new from it. That shift in perspective is what gives the experience lasting value. Knowing when to pause. There's a common belief that persistence means always moving forward, no matter what. But true resilience also involves knowing when to pause. Taking a break isn't a sign of failure. It's a recognition of limits and circumstances. External factors, personal well-being, and changing priorities all play a role in that decision. Pausing allows for reflection. It creates space to reassess goals, evaluate risks, and consider what comes next. It also provides an opportunity to reconnect with parts of life that may have been set aside. The ability to stop, even temporarily, requires awareness and maturity. It shows an understanding that progress isn't always linear. Sometimes, stepping back is what makes future movement possible. It's not about giving up. It's about choosing the right moment to continue, redefining what strength means. Strength is often associated with endurance, the ability to keep going despite difficulty. While that's part of it, there's another side that's just as important. Strength also involves vulnerability, honesty, and self-awareness. It's about acknowledging when something is difficult and allowing yourself to feel it without judgment. It's about making decisions that align with your well-being, even if they don't make sense to others. Over time, the definition of strength evolves. It becomes less about proving something and more about understanding yourself. That shift can be subtle, but it's significant. It influences how challenges are approached and how success is measured. Instead of focusing solely on external achievements, the emphasis moves toward internal balance and clarity. That perspective creates a more sustainable form of resilience. A story still unfolding. Not every journey has a clear ending, and that's part of what makes it meaningful. The path continues to evolve, shaped by new experiences, changing circumstances, and ongoing reflection. What started as a response to loss has become something more complex, a blend of exploration, learning, and personal growth. There's no fixed destination, no final point where everything is resolved. Instead, there's a continuous process of adapting and moving forward. Each chapter builds on the last, adding depth and perspective. The story remains open, with possibilities still ahead. And perhaps that's the most important part. It's not about having all the answers or following a perfect plan. It's about staying engaged with the journey, whatever form it takes, and allowing it to unfold naturally over time.